We're up on Penny's pool today at Redhill. This lake is full of big carp and it's sort of the last hour is where you're going to win or lose a match. So edge fishing is a massive part of that and strong gear goes hand in hand with it. To start the rig, we've got some red hydro. Some people might think it's quite powerful, I used to, but I think it's just spot on for these. If you only get an hour, you don't want to be running around the peg everywhere. So onto the main line, again durable 022 N gauge, two little number 8 back shot there just so I can pin my rig right up tight to the grass. A nice 0.4 margin diamond, really visible top. I love like a long visible tip, especially like today maybe I want to fish 2 worms and you want to make sure you've got plenty of show. I don't want to be striking a little dinks and bits and pieces. Carrying on down, I've just got a little bulk there, 4 number 8s and a little trimmer above it. Probably 4 inches then, I got a little dropper, and 4 inches again. I've got some 019, again N gauge, to a size 12 Kaizen. Strong gear, but if you get the chance where you could win the match, you don't want anything letting you down. You don't want to be resetting up rigs. When they come in on mass, they're big fish, so you need the gear up to the job. Okay, so we touched on the shotting pattern earlier on when we run through the rig, but just have a little closer look now. So what I've done, I've got like a little bulk of shots there, and then 4 inches away I've got a little dropper. Now everybody seems to want to fish with a bulk on their hook length, but nothing's like set in stone in fishing. That's a personal preference for me. It's 2 foot deep there, so I just feel like that little bulk and then just a little dropper I think is quite a nice little presentation for that. I found in the past when I've had all my shot like right on the hook length, I've had an odd carp coming in and it's like they touch the rig and sort of bow wave out the peg, but I don't have it as much with this, whether it's because the bulk is up out of the way a little bit, and you know the bites, they'll pull elastic out sometimes, so sometimes you can be looked a little bit too far into like fishing out of the textbook, as it were. So we've got 2 foot of depth there, so I just think that sort of balances out nice. A little short hook length, a little dropper and a bulk. A nice little tip is when you're shotting your floats, leave plenty of bristle, especially for fishing for big carp in the margins. You'll get 3 or 4 of these big fish come in and you don't want any like false indication sort of thing. When that float goes, the more bristle you've got sticking out, the more chance it's going to be in the mouth. So a nice long bristle, thick bristle, plenty of show on it. It'll just help you like sort of pick out the right bites to strike at. Another nice thing about a long bristle like that is when you're fishing like double worm, double corn, you know the bait isn't going to pull your float under with the weight of it, so you will still have plenty of show. So for margin fishing, for me anyway personally, a long thick bristle is definitely the way to go. 2 little black shots there, just above my float. Now they're really nice. Like today, I need to pin my rig right up against the grass. As soon as it starts coming away from the grass, you're getting liners, so I need to pin it right in. So what I can do with that is I can pull that into the grass and I can just hold on to those shots with my pole tip rather than hold on to the float, making the float rise out of the water. And when you get an odd fish come in and they obviously like their tails are moving the water and stuff, you get a bit of water movement. When you're holding on to those back shots, that float can only travel 4 inches away from your back shot. If I didn't have them, that float could travel like a foot back out into the lake. So it's just something, especially for edge fishing, I always tend to do that. If there's a little bit of water movement, skim, or I want to hold it, like pin it dead tight into the bank, back shots is the way to go. One thing I always do when I'm fishing down the margins, or fishing a short pole in general, is have a couple of pole sections just in the sock ready to go. I've just got 2 sections by there. If you have any more, it's a bit of a job to try and get them together, but 2 you can sort of just pick them up and put them together and follow a fish out. We've had a few times today we've hooked a real big one down the edge, even with red hydro, and they've just gone and gone and gone into the middle. And unless you follow them, something's going to give, whether it's going to be elastic, your line, the hook's going to straighten, or your pole's going to break at the end of the day. So it's just like a bit of a precaution. Don't always have to use it, but then fish that do want to go, you just want to put them sections on, make the most of them, make sure you land every fish. Okay, so bait is mega simple for this venue. You're only allowed 1 kilo of groundbait at Redhill, so obviously you're going to need a lot more bait than that to do a big weight down the edge. So I've mixed 3 bags of micros up, soaked them up in a big bucket, make sure they all swell right up, take all the water on, and then I've just mixed up 1 kilo of mainline margin mix, and then basically just chuck them all in a bucket, mix it up, try and get as much volume as I can out of that 1 kilo of groundbait. Today, just big pot, and we've gone through a hell of a lot of bait today, to be honest. I don't know, we've probably gone through 9 pints so far and we haven't finished fishing yet. So just big pot, and that's been the way today. Little kinder pot hasn't been great. On the hook, really simple, only 2 options. A bunch, 5 or 6 dead reds. We've had a few issues with like nuisance fish, little skimmers and perch and that, so 2 dendrobinas has been good on the hook as well, just to avoid them smaller fish. When those smaller fish are gone, Margus, to be fair, has been the best hook bait. So really simple, just like the rig. I think it's more about getting fish in your peg, and then obviously they're easier to catch.